Hi, kids. Well, it's been a while since I've talked to you. I'm going to read chapter 12 now. Chapter 12 is titled, A Hunt for Benny. That sounds interesting. It was true, Benny was not there. Oh, what has happened to Benny, said Jessie, beginning to cry. Now, don't let's get upset, said Joe's stronger voice. I think I know what's happened. Benny has gone off by himself to find the hermit. He hasn't been gone long, and we can surely find him. Don't cry, Jessie. We'll go and hunt for him. Wouldn't we save time by asking Jim? Asked Henry. Right, said Joe. With that, they all ran back to Jim's place. Jim came to the door when he saw them running toward him. We've lost Benny, cried Jessie. You know which way to hunt, don't you? We think he went to find the hermit and surprise us. Well now, said Jim, first thing, don't you get scared. We got natives here in the old village that can find anything in those woods. Little boy hasn't been gone long. Did you ask the young native girl to help you? Oh dear, said Violet, I forgot all about the native girl. I just dropped the basket and ran. We all did. Better go back then, said Jim. I'll go with you. Rita is a better guide than I am. She can walk in the woods and never make a sound. When Jim told Rita, she stood up at once and looked sharply into the woods. I saw the little boy at first, she said, but I did not notice when he went. I'm very sorry. We'll start this way. Rita leaned over and looked at a bush. Yes, I think he went down this path. Keep right behind me. It's easy to get lost in these woods if you get off the path. It was a strange sight, 6 people walking behind a young native girl in a straight line down a path. Sometimes it seemed as if there was no path at all. Jessie walked just behind Rita. Soon she said, Rita, Benny would never have known that this was a path. He may have gone off it long ago. No, he couldn't, little boy like that, said Rita. He couldn't get through the brushes. This is the only way he could go. He went this way all right. I can see where he stepped, and this is the way to the old hermit's cabin. On they went over rocks and stones and branches. Now, call him, Rita said, turning around. Henry put up his hands like a cup and called, Benny. Then Joe did the same. They all listened. There was no answer. We'll find him just the same, said Rita, shaking her head. If I can't, my father can. They all hurried along. For a long time they walked without talking. Suddenly the native girl stopped. Be careful now. We're near the hermit's cabin. If we scare him, the hermit will run away and maybe he won't help us. Slowly and quietly, they all walked along the path, and all at once they saw the cabin. They stopped, for on the steps they saw an old man with a long white beard. Beside him, smiling and talking away happily, sat Benny. Oh, Benny, said Jessie. Shh, said Rita. But the hermit had seen them. Come, he said to Benny, taking his hand. You are lost. Jessie could not wait. She cried out, Oh, Benny, you scared us so. With that, everyone began to talk to Benny, so nobody could understand a word that was being said, with everyone talking all at once. The hermit is nice, said Benny, when he could make them hear him finally. He was going to take me back. His name's Dave Hunter. That's right, said Jim. His name is Dave Hunter. Here's a picture. That's right, said Jim. His name is Dave Hunter. But the hermit surprised them all by turning his back. He went straight back into his cabin and shut the door. That's the way he is, said Jim. He won't talk. He talked to me. Most anyone would talk to you, little boy, said Jim with a smile. Dave won't come out again, so we might as well go back home. Rita led the way. Henry put Benny right in front of him where he could watch him all the way. As they walked along, Jim said, You people might as well stay overnight. You can cook your own trout. I think we must stay, said Alice. Violet needs a good sleep after that scare. We all do. At the village again, they stopped to say goodbye to Rita. Henry put some money into her hand. We'll see you again about the basket, Rita. We were all upset about Benny. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. Yum. I understand, said Rita with a smile. I wouldn't want to lose Benny myself. When they reached the little house, Jim said, you can stay here as long as you want. Walk right in. If you want anything, come over and ask me. Maybe I'll have it. With that, he left them alone to go in the house. They went up the front stairs. Henry pushed open the door. They all went in. They found a small room with a fireplace. There were a few chairs, some folding cots leaning against the wall. There was one big chest of drawers. As Alice and Jessie soon found the next room, which was a bedroom. Then they found the kitchen. There isn't an upstairs to this house, said Benny. Just a downstairs. Oh, Violet, cried Jessie. Do look at this dear little stove. I wish we could make our own supper. Jim said the campers who stay here in this house do that. And think of Benny's big trout that he caught. It would be fun to cook it ourselves, said Alice. Doesn't this make you think of when we were keeping house on Surprise Island, said Henry. We'll need some wood for the stove and some potatoes to go with the fish. I'll go over and ask Jim to sell us some. I'll go with you. Right, said Henry, so you won't get out of my sight. I really didn't mean to. I was coming right back. I wanted to surprise you and find the hermit first. He said I ought to go right back. He said he would take me himself. He likes to be alone. Joe began to set up the cots. How's this, Violet? You 3 girls take the bedroom. I'll put 3 cots up for you. Then we 3 men will sleep in the living room. That's wonderful, Joe, said Violet. But let's make our own beds with our blanket rolls. We love to make beds. Well, I don't, said Joe. I'll certainly let you make mine. I'll just set up the cots. The afternoon was passing quickly away. Benny soon came back with the fish and potatoes. Henry carried a nice big basket of wood. Nice dry wood, he commented. Benny said, I never thought I would love dry wood. Then they went out again to the canoes and brought the packs, and soon Jessie and Alice had a fine fire going in the stove while Violet got the potatoes ready. I think we'll eat in the kitchen, said Henry, looking around. He pulled the table into the middle of the room. Benny, see if you can find 6 chairs. Violet found some heavy white plates and set the table. Jessie cut the fish into 6 pieces and cooked it, where she put it in a big pan. For the first time in many days, they all sat down in real chairs to eat a real meal at a real table. When they'd finished supper, there was no food left at all, not a scrap. Before long, the dishes were washed, the beds were made, everything was ready for the night, but it wasn't yet dark. Let's go and sit out on the front steps, said Jessie. We don't want to go to bed yet. The family went through the little house, sat down on the wooden steps. A soft wind was blowing through the trees. Soon a toad hopped out from under the stairs. He lives there. I like to have toads living under our stairs. Toads come out at night, said Joe. They catch bugs. You know, I feel as if something's going to happen soon, said Violet. Alice turned to look at her. That's funny, Alice said. I feel as if we've done this before, almost as if we had a clue and didn't know it. Joe surprised them all by saying, I feel the same way. What a mysterious way to end the chapter.